Hey everyone, we are back. This is BK Motors and Mayhem, and this week we are going to be working on the Avenger. I'm hoping that by the end of this video we can get to fire up and run for the first time in a long time. So, as you can see, the last time we left off this bike, I was fixing and repairing the hole that was in this cover, and as you can tell, well, it is fixed and repaired and looks really good if I don't say so myself. So what I did was, I'll walk you guys through, is I put some epoxy on it and then left it to dry till the next day, came out the next day, and I sanded it down, okay? Then I applied some glazing putty to it and just smoothed it out some more and then sanded it, got it nice and smooth and right. Then I just slapped some primer on it and put it back on the bike, just so that the carburetors weren't, or the carburetor, sorry, wasn't exposed to the elements, because the carburetor is behind this cover on this bike. So I didn't want it just sitting out and exposed. But now I've gone out and I've gotten a paint that may or may not match. I'm not too sure on that. And we're going to slap some paint on this and see how it turns out. But as you can tell, here, I'll show you guys. This was the cover. And there was a big hole there. A big hole there that we filled in with epoxy. Then, like I said, I hit it with some glazing putty, sanded it off, smoothed it out, and it looks really good. You can still see the dab of epoxy on the inside where that hole was. So that's how it turned out. And like I said, I think it turned out really rather well. So I'm just going to take it off to the side now. You guys will join me and we're going to slap some paint on this and see how she turns out. So before I slap some paint on this, I'm just going to hit it with some wax and grease remover. Make sure it's nice and cleaned up. Just gently go over it. That should be good enough. Now, I know that the cover is still a little damaged. As you can see, still has the mark from the kicker in it, the shifter. Now, I could have gone over it and fixed that as well, but I'm not even sure. The kicker might still rub on the cover. So I figured for now, I would at least leave it. Maybe I'll come back later and address that problem, but for now, it's good enough. We're not going for perfection, we're just going for better. Now, I picked up this paint at my local hardware store. I'm not sure if it's the right color. It might match. It says it's just aluminum color. So I don't really know. It might be good. It might not. We're going to test it, find out. Maybe if it doesn't match and I like it better than what's actually on the bike, I'll take some more of the covers off, paint them, make them look really nice. But for now, let's see how well this turns out. All right, that looks pretty good for one coat. Now I'm gonna let that sit for a couple minutes. And while I'm letting that sit, we're gonna hop back over to the Avenger and see about slapping some more parts on it. Okay, so to start, we're gonna run a new fuel line. Here she is right here. And I have a fitting for it, a special fittings that they don't make anymore and are a pain to find. Now, what's gotta happen is I got fitted up through this hole. All right, that should be more than enough. And I'm just gonna feed it along here. Okay. All right, now that I got that partially run, I'm gonna slap the clamp on there with the fitting. Okay. Run that back a little bit. Now that is obviously gonna be great fun to try and get on there. Okay, no pinches, no snags, nothing like that. Just set it like that for now. Run that over onto that side and I'll deal with the extra length later. All right, now we'll go do the other side. All right, so now here we are on the other side. I'm just gonna feed the old line out. Pop that out. See if I can get the new line to fit. There's a negative through that grommet. Pop it out. All right, so I got it through the grommet there. Now I'm just gonna run this down and right up onto the carburetor. Now I got the banjo bolt here, gasket on top, gasket on the bottom. Wrench is not easily accessible. Should be more than enough to the tank. Grommet back in place. Line is on. We are good to go right there. All right. Now to deal with some other goodies that I also got for the bike. Now I got a brand new set NGK spark plugs for it. So we're going to go ahead and slap those in as well. Since, as you can tell, we have one that's an NGK, the other one's a Champion. I don't even know if they were the right plugs. So we'll put in a brand new set. So now, like always, I'm going to put on a small amount of anti-seize on my plugs. Just remember, guys, remember what happened to the CB. No one put any C's on their plugs. It snapped off, and I had to replace the head. Prime example right there. And if you haven't watched that video, well, go check it out. Okay, now I'm just putting in the other one, just like so. All right, plugs are in, caps are back on. Now I'm gonna fill her up with some two-stroke engine oil. I'm just gonna dump the whole jug right in. And there we go, filled up, ready to go. Cap back on. And she is golden. I don't see any leaks coming out the bottom. I never touched this, so that's good. Go around to the other side. No leaks on that side either. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna hook up the gas tank and have our fuel lines cut, and I'm gonna put in some fuel filters. All right, so I have the tank set up. I'm gonna slap this on. Line that up. Looks pretty good. Hook up my crossover line. Okay, so I got the crossover line on. Now I'm gonna run my fuel line and hook up some fuel filters while I'm there and see about putting some gas to it. Like that. Okay, there's one side hooked up. Now I'm gonna move on over and do the other side. All right, well, we got a fuel filter on there. It looks a little goofy, but it'll work for right now. Maybe later on I'll swap it out for something a little smaller and more appropriate for this application. But that's what I had on hand. So that's what we're gonna go with for now. Now, I'm just gonna put this cover back on, just this one right here. There's no longer any need for that to be off. I'll keep the other covers off for now when we try to start it. All right, so now I'm just gonna dump some gas in it. I'm not sure if I have enough. I might not. All right, so here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see if we could get this thing to make some noise. Okay, I still don't think she's getting any fuel. Running on that, but she's not getting any gas. She's not getting any gas. All right, so we are back. I got some more fuel put in it. We are having some fuel delivery issues. It's the pedcock, I believe. It's either plugged, something's going on with it. It's also leaking extremely badly. But we aren't getting fuel to the carburetors, as you can see, this fuel filter is almost empty. There's some fuel in the lines, but not a whole lot. So I'm just going to try and kick it over a couple more times and see if we can get it to bark off. Okay, so that was sounding very promising. Yeah, see, as you can tell, there's still no fuel in this actual line going to the carburetor. There's some, but that fuel filter is still very dry. It should have a lot more fuel in it than that. And the other side looks roughly about the exact same. So we're having some fuel issues. Now, like I said, this petcock is leaking. I have this rag under it, and it is completely soaked. Like, yeah, I can wring this out. So it's not good. The off isn't really even shutting it off. It's just sort of suggesting it. I'm going to pop this line off. Okay, if I turn it on, I do get fuel out of it. And I get fuel out of that side. So I am getting fuel. It's just not taking it. I'm very much starting to wonder if there's something wrong with the carburetors or the floats, because there should be fuel in those lines. And there is nothing. Or I'm wondering if the petcock leak is so bad that it's just not allowing enough fuel flow to the actual carburetors. There's something going on, because again, the petcock is turned on, it's leaking very badly, and I'm getting nothing in those filters. And same as this side, absolutely nothing. All right, well, I'm going to do something that you shouldn't do with a two-stroke, and that is I'm going to spray the carburetors with a little bit of go-go juice. And that is, let's see what happens. Well, it definitely wants to come to life. So, that is a very good sign. Okay, so I went over some things. I found that the fitting down here was actually clogged and not allowing any fuel down. And then I just cracked the other side, almost like you would with a bleeder on a brake line or on a caliper. And I cracked that side, and it allowed fuel to flow right down. And now I have a fuel bowl that is full. This side, not so much, but I know it is getting fuel. So let's try it again and see if it fires up and runs on gas. 2 strokes. She so wants to go. All right, there, guys and gals. As you've seen, this beautiful 1967 Kawasaki Avenger has officially been avenged. She starts and she runs really well. Like I said, she still has some corks in it, maybe some fuel problems. The petcock still leaks really badly. It had a bit of an oil leak on the other side, so that might have been just because the cover was off. Now, even if I did put that cover back on, I have the incorrect hardware, so it would still leak anyways because it's not sealing up against the engine. That and the gasket on that side is completely shot. So I say that was a pretty damn good success. She runs very well. She is, that's rather exciting. As you can tell, it both smoked out my backyard. It's not as bad as it was now, but it smoked out pretty good. So I say for this week and for this bike, we are done. That wraps up this week's video on the 1967 Kawasaki Avenger. Now, there's still more work to be done to it, so it's not going anywhere just yet. There'll still be a couple more videos on it before we wrap this bike up. But for the will it run part, I think we about nailed that. But we still have to see if it will ride. So stick around until next week. Maybe next week we'll be switching gears and working back on the Virago. I still have that tank. We put the aligner in it, and now we just gotta put it back on, install it, and see if she is good to go, and try and start that bike for the first time in quite a few decades. So until next week, this is BK Motors Mayhem out, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I'll catch you guys next week. Later.